Hi, I'm Nana, CEO and co-founder of Grow For Me, and today I want to tell you the story about Osman, who came back to his village to farm so that he could pay himself through school. But like many other farmers, after farming, he didn't have a ready market to buy his commodities. And actually, processors and factories that need his commodity are not going to travel 12 and 14 hours to find him another thousand smaller farmers to buy from them. So typically, aggregators will buy from Osman and others and aggregate and supply off-takers. But there are two problems. Aggregators don't have the money and the amount of money they need to buy all the quantities they have to. And when they do, the commodities they aggregate do not meet the right quality standards, so off-takers are not happy. Now, this causes about 30% post-harvest losses for smallholder farmers, and in Nigeria alone, about 60%. Our population is growing, and by 2050, it will be 2.5 billion. And if we do not solve this problem, we will be very hungry. So how we solve it at Grow For Me is through our Grow For Me micro aggregator platform, MAP, as we call it, which is basically a web and mobile USSD based commodity financing, aggregation and trading platform that aggregates commodities rapidly and affordably into warehouses across the country using our technology. We're able to update off-takers about the progress we are making in the commodities that we are trading, and most importantly, provide them the right quality and quantity. How it works is simple. First, start by raising capital from banks, farm managers, family offices, DFIs, the high net worth individuals, to basically pay the farmer for his commodities at the warehouse, spot buying, or finance an aggregator to go buy from farmers in very remote areas and into the warehouses, where the warehouse quality and quantity standards are ensured before they are traded on the exchange or shipped off directly to off-takers who pay us, and we share the profit with our financiers. Now, the value for financiers is that there's a profitable, purposeful, and transparent investment vehicle, whilst for farmers, there's a ready market. For aggregators, affordable financing. But for both of them, there's market insight and a credit history which they can use to raise more capital and grow their businesses. In the warehouse, on the other hand, there's commodity flow and extra income for them because the commodities are coming through. But finally, for off-takers, there's the right quality and quantity of commodities available to them when they need them. In the business, there are a number of risk variables we've identified, particularly for cash flow to buy the commodities needed. Now, it's solved by banking partners who are consistently bringing the financing we need to buy from multiple farmers and aggregators. On that side, the challenge there is typically quality and quantity risk, which is solved first by quality and quantity checks at the warehouse before commodities are paid, and also quality and quantity training before farmers or aggregators are onboarded on the platform. Now, aggregators do not access financing until they've sold to the platform for over 7 times, then they qualify to access financing, typically in small chunks like 10 bags per round. For warehouses, the issues there typically are security, where we only onboard warehouses that are either insured or have security in place to protect the commodities. Finally, for off-takers, we don't sell to off-takers who cannot prove to us through bank statement validation that they have the capacity to pay. We don't want our money to be locked there. So, based on what we've built, there's now great impact for young men and women in farming communities because they begin to make a commission for every bag they aggregate by $1 each. Whilst there's now real-time commodity trading data because the platform actually buys commodities and sell it. And this is key for planning and projections. Warehouse owners, warehouses and warehouse officers are excited because there's growth in volume and extra income for them. And finally, off-takers are now happy because there's constant flow of commodities and the prices tend to level off. This is great impact. The market currently is worth about $313 billion. It will be $1 trillion by 2030. But when we look at farmers who are organized in groups from whom we buy, we're looking at a $100 billion opportunity. But because MAP pays farmers through a mobile money, we're looking at a $20 billion opportunity. Yes, there are other players in the space, but what makes us different is first our core focus on compliance. With the first, we're given a Security and Exchange Commission approval because part of our go-to-market strategy works with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture across countries, and that's key for us to have that compliance. Second, our technology is purely USSD farmer-focused first because we operate in areas where cellular network is a GSM network is a critical tool for us to be able to aggregate, pay the farmer, and trade our commodities. Finally, we have multiple sources of financing, so we always have the cash flow to buy and supply off-takers. How we make money starts with aggregator, who makes $1 when they aggregate commodities, and when brokers want to use our platform, they pay $20 flat fee to aggregate. Whenever we aggregate and trade on our platform, we make a 5 to 7% profit margin. How we go to market in countries once again is through the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, who typically will have access to all the data in the most productive areas, which guides us where to deploy our capital and warehouses. So for our financiers, we reach them through advertisement and direct sales. For aggregators, once the warehouse is onboarded, we recruit aggregators in those areas and communities onto the platform. And for off-takers, it's typically through direct sales where we onboard them and we sell to them. In the past 24 months, we've impacted about 18,000 farmers, traded over 113,000 bags of commodities, and shipped over 1,000 plus tons, and traded for more than $500,000 in commodities, and currently raising funds to support women in agriculture. 2022 trades have been profitable, likewise our 2021 trades. We have operations over 5 areas in the northern part of Ghana, and we allow women to also make extra income when they clean the commodities in these warehouses. We're actually raising a $6 million round to enable us to build 5,400 core micro-aggregator network. The power of MAP resides in its network of aggregators, and this will enable us to trade over $60 million in commodity over 95 warehouses for the commodities listed below. We also have expense over $500,000 covering marketing, sales, infrastructure, team professional fees, and operations. We could have done this without key partners like Airbus for satellite images, the Ministry of Agriculture in Ghana, the GCX for commodity trading, and GIZ that enabled us to actually scale the technology. And now UT is going to also help us operationalize the business. Short Tractors particularly gave us mechanization services and insurance came from Ghana Insurance Agricole. We have a board with over 75 years experience cutting across post-harvest and post-harvest agribusiness and governments. And we have an amazing team. I'm a 2-time tech founder. I have 7 years experience running a fintech. And I've built a USSD platform that works in over 4 countries. And I have an MPhil in machine systems, aggregate engineering specifically. Kofi, our head of marketing, has worked with brands like Ogilvy. And Lauren Wright has an MBA from Oxford and was recently awarded an MBE by the Queen. Godfred, our CTO, has built platforms that have been used at scale, for example, a sales platform used by MT.io here in Ghana. And Kwame, our co-founder, advisor, and shareholder, literally has been selling planes across Africa and worked with very large brands and understand how to run a company at scale. Funny, but most importantly, Fan's head of farm operations have over 7 years experience in running large farms and has an MPhil in soil and water engineering. We really want your help to really build and scale this business and really, reduce the post-harvest losses and turn these commodities and bring it to the consuming areas as food and allow especially women and youth to begin to make income as aggregators. Most importantly, have a decent work environment. But at the core, we want the technology we are building to be the central tool across Africa where farmers can sell their commodities at any time and buyers can come buy commodities. I want to finish off by showing us a quick demo of our platform and how it works. A farmer can simply dial a code once he's at the warehouse or he's on the farm and literally request to sell his bags of soybean or maize or whatever. Once he dials the code, he'll select option number 4 and there we would ask him what commodity does he want to sell. He wants to sell white maize and every response is in numbers. Then he can go ahead and then respond with the warehouse he wants to sell to. In this case is WA. From then he can go ahead and indicate whether he wants to sell, get financing or check pricing. He wants to sell and then we would ask him, okay, now you want to sell, what is your selling price? Where he would say it's about maybe 100 and then we'll finally ask him, how many bags are you selling? 50 kg, you say 2. And then we will respond with how much you are willing to pay for the commodity. He will then either accept or reject. Once he accepts to sell, you get a notification by SMS. The warehouse officer will get a notification. You can call the warehouse officer, and if he's there, his commodities will be checked. Warehouse officer will pre-approve and will be paid. The technology works and we're excited about it. I look forward to you working with us to scale it. Thank you.